You got the music ready?
Yeah, the music is ready. Welcome, everybody, to the SNL live show featuring Byron Von Gutten, Anna Fry, and Colin Villanueva. We have special guests with us today. Why is this happening? Oh, we got...
Yeah, were you watching on your phone again?
No, that's somebody whose volume is up there, Rod.
Hi, everybody. Literally, it's on my phone. I was like, I hear a voiceover.
Dude, that's really good. That's barely any delay at all.
Wow.
So that means we got audio going.
Yep, it's
right.
working.
So mute that.
And how would I do that? I just press pause.
Just volume all the way down.
All right, I'm going to lower my volume now.
Wow.
Well,
okay. This is a great start for the show.
So I try to do this really cool thing with some music in the background, and I got really excited. But then our special guest, who hasn't been on here before, didn't know what she was doing. So everybody give a round of applause for Savannah Dyes.
Thank you. Wow. I love that. Fake applause there.
It's real.
So
It's real.
if you've been watching our show, you'll know that we progressively step up our production value each episode. And this week we had the pleasure of announcing sound effects. So check this out, guys. That's pretty professional.
That's amazing. All right.
Anyway,
Is that from Charlie Brown?
No, I think that's just a trombone effect. I mean, it could be from Charlie Brown. I don't know. I just kind of stole these, and some of them were already on here. So not really stole, just kind of borrowed. What are we doing today?
Say less.
Well, you just introduced who's all here. And,
I did.
Well,
then I got kind of panicked. So
I
we
know
have
you did
Byron.
because we had weird crossover again, like echo chamber, but it's all good now.
Yes, we have Byron.
Uh-huh.
Everybody, this is Byron. Everybody, this is Anna. Everybody, this is me, Colin.
That's clapping.
And then we have Sav. So thank you all for tuning in to us tonight. We got some great things in store. Lots of goofs, lots of laughs. Already lots of laughs, but we're excited to hang out. We're excited to have you guys all here. So so we have seniors in the chat with us today. So if you're a senior, we would love for you to let us know that you are here and you are present, because we're doing a special giveaway this week for seniors in particular. So any senior that decides that they're going to comment and participate in what's going on will be introduced for a random drawing that will reveal the winner next week.
Mo is in the house right now.
Yes, Mo.
And we are going to actually be giving her a call here in a little bit. She doesn't realize this, but yes, Mariah, we're going to call you and ask you how you're doing when we talk about our challenge update.
So you better stay here. You can't go anywhere. Don't go anywhere. But yeah, so I mean, I think that's all for introductions. So if you're a senior, let us know what school you go to. I mean, obviously, I would ask what year you're graduating, but if you're a senior, you're hopefully graduating in May, if school still exists by the end of this quarantine thing.
School is no longer. You are all homeschooled for the rest of your life,
You know
even in
what we need to
college.
We do not need that.
We need like a graduation ceremony, like here. We can have all the seniors
We have to do something.
tune in or something.
Yeah, we
10
have
at a
10
time.
people starting at 10 at a time.
What?
Put them on the video. They'll love that.
That's for impact.
We can't even meet for impact,
That's
so
a free idea.
let's have them here for a graduation.
We're gonna have virtual grad parties. This is gonna be great this year. You guys are gonna have so much fun.
They're probably
Yes.
getting sad.
I'm sorry, seniors, don't leave yet. This is just all fun and games. But yes. So, Sav, for the people who don't know you, why don't you introduce yourself?
Yes, so my name's Sav. I don't know, where do I look? Do I
Right
look
there.
here?
Look at the phone.
Okay. So my name's Sav Dyes. I'm the high school director here at Pathway. So obviously I know some of you in the chat. Emily Folk, I see you. Dresden was in here. Abby was in here.
Yes.
Hoping we see some other faces join us. I've been here for almost 3 years now at Pathway and
Told ya.
work with a bunch of high school students. Did you say told ya?
Yeah,
Yeah, we
I didn't
talked
know.
about it.
I didn't know how long you've been here. I just
Oh,
asked.
how long do you think
Trying to
I've been
figure it
here?
out.
He thought maybe 1 year.
I didn't.
Wow,
Well,
I'm
I
a
didn't think a
baby?
year. I just didn't realize you've been around for that long.
He did say that.
Sav, I didn't grow up at Impact, but I mean, I guess it's been.
You never went to Impact?
Nope, never once. I know.
Wow.
Seniors, you can shame me in the
He was
chat.
too
Never
good
went to
for it.
Impact.
He was too good for Impact?
No.
Is that why you didn't come?
No. That's not why.
Oh my gosh.
That's not why.
Tell us.
That's not why. Okay. But Anna went to Impact.
Time
Oh,
for this.
throw the shade off somewhere
I
else.
did. I did go to Impact back in the days.
Yeah, and look how she turned out. You know, And look how I turned out. Which one of us would you rather be?
Probably
So anyway,
Byron.
thanks Dresden for
anyways.
participating. We got any other seniors who went to Carroll? Let's give a round of applause for the Carroll graduates.
All right.
Go
Um,
Chargers.
Okay, so
Oh, Morgan Hansen's there too.
oh, this is so great.
I love
Oh
Morgan.
wow, you guys are awesome. Okay,
All
so
these Carol.
I know they want to win the prize. Byron, what's the prize? Let's tell them what the prize is.
Well, the prize is I've got a lot of fun stuff from doing student ministry many years ago in my office that I don't know what to do with. And so we're just giving away random stuff out of my office. Last
Random
week
stuff.
it was a little drone.
Yeah, it was a drone.
Drum.
Drone.
A drone, like an actual drone
Yeah,
that
mini
gets like
drone
flown
that can
around.
fly around.
Please
Deidre won it
take
last
it off.
week, and now they use it as a cat toy.
It's a cat toy. So we want a kid's
They
toy and
fly
turn it
their
into a
cat?
cat toy.
Collins.
No,
Collins.
It gets
Yeah.
man, you guys, I think I still have the video saved. Do you guys want to see the video?
No.
No,
Let's,
okay.
let's move on here.
All righty.
We'll keep you on task, buddy.
But
Good video.
it's a pretty great video. It's like chasing it up. But anyway, we're gonna give away something random. We gave away a 2,000 piece Pokemon puzzle.
Yep.
That's been completed by the people who got it.
Yeah, we delivered
Really
it and
big
everything.
puzzle.
I haven't delivered my
Wow.
game yet, though. I've been really bad.
Oh, Byron, you need to step up
I
on
know.
it. Kara,
I-
we apologize for
No, I
the
haven't got to the post office.
Kara, we apologize for the delivery issues on this. Byron needs to step it up. And so we
I
have
live
all
in
these seniors that are
Woodburn.
eagerly awaiting, potentially winning a prize, and you can't even make a promise that it's going to
Yeah,
get
it's all-
delivered.
Office, I do it with
Carol.
pack mail, and they
Let's
just like,
go, Carol.
Just do a
You should
drive-by.
give them one of your
Okay.
fish, Byron.
Sav, you can do a drive-by for them.
I'll give
You know
a
the way
fish
these
away if
seniors live.
somebody
Yeah.
wants to
That's a great
add an
idea.
aquarium. Oh, she said, I forgive you. Thanks, Kara.
Aw.
Kara.
All right.
Wow,
Well,
so
hey,
many
we're
great
going to
people.
go on here with the challenges for the
Yeah,
week.
okay, yep.
For those of you who don't know that, when we first started this, we didn't know how long stay-at-home orders was going to last. And we
We had
decided,
no idea.
you know what? Instead of like complaining and grumbling about it, we're going to try and come out of our stay-at-home orders better than what we went into it. And so we took on 3-week challenges, and now it's actually under our 4th week. And I'll just explain a little bit what I did. I actually decided to consistently get up at 7 o'clock and do my God time in the 7 o'clock hour. And so faithfully, I've done that this entire week. I didn't miss a date. See, if I failed, I was going to have Mariah put on women's makeup for like if I were on the studio, and I'd be on the show for that week like that.
Yeah.
So that was my
Wow.
punishment.
Would have loved to see
Also,
that.
I
No,
would
I
have.
kind of want him
I
to
said
fail.
I want to be healthier when I get out of this. And so I've been doing P90X3 6 times a week, and I have not missed a day. I love it. And so it's been legit. Like, should I show before
Good
and after
stuff.
pictures at the end of this?
Byron, just
You
take off
should.
your sweatshirt. Everybody will be able to see. No, you're ripped. Look at this.
All right,
Look at this
anyway,
guy.
Nope, not doing that. So, Anna, how did it go for you this week?
Better than last week.
No mayonnaise this week?
No.
She ate a
Last
spoonful of mayonnaise
Sunday.
last week because she failed.
Oh, it was.
It was like
awful.
a big spoonful.
Oh man.
So that was my punishment.
Oh.
Oh, it was bad. But this week I did a lot better. So my challenges were to wake up at 9 a.m. every morning. Nah, I can't do 7. That's just too
I have
much.
kids that wake me up at 6.
Hey,
Yeah, I don't have that.
but 9 o'clock is better than what you were waking up at.
Yes, which was usually around noon.
So those of you
So-
seniors who are maybe sleeping in all day, I don't know what you guys are doing, but
I understand the
small
struggle
increments.
is real.
Small
Yeah,
increments.
discipline. It's a
Right.
good thing.
It is all about self-discipline. So this week, every morning I woke up at 9, did my daily God time devotions, and I had to work out every day.
Look at you.
And I did that. And that's why I failed last week, because I didn't do that.
P90X too.
No. I hop on
There
the
is a
treadmill.
P90X2, but I'm doing 3.
She's doing 3.
Yeah, that was how mine went.
Well, good for you. I'm proud of you. You don't have to
Awesome
eat
job,
mayonnaise
Anna.
this time.
Improvement.
So I knew that I was going to struggle if I was going to have to work out. So I decided to do something like mentally. So I've been waking up every morning as we're all doing like spiritual based challenges, just to keep ourselves accountable to getting in the Word. And so I've been waking up at 8:30, and from 8:30 to 9, spending time in God's Word. And last week we decided to up our challenges, up and away. Up to our challenges. And so I decided that I was going to get up every morning at 8:30 like I was doing, but then go for a walk while I was doing my God time. And that helped me focus a lot more.
What'd you do during the rain?
Yeah, how was that?
I walked. Your boy walked through the rain, the snow, everything.
This
everything.
was your first week doing
Everything
that.
for Wayne through my way. Yeah. And so I did that. And then I've been playing the piano. But Deidre came in today and she said, so Deidre, my wife, has been doing this like dance choreography based workouts things with her friends.
Zumba.
No, I don't know what it is. Somebody she knows kind of made these workout videos and they're online, and so she subscribes to whatever this is. But
Yeah, enough
they do
people
really
said
good.
that you have to do the dance with her.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I didn't because I didn't think we had 10 yeses from last week's show.
Yes,
But
we did.
anyway,
We did.
I didn't count. But anyway, let me get to my point. So Deidre walks into the bedroom this morning, and I'm sitting there right after our Week of Hope Zoom call, and she says, "Hey, Colin, you don't work at Discount Tire anymore, and it's kind of showing." And I'm like,
No, you have a discount tire now.
and I'm like, thanks, Deidre, because she's like, "Hey, Colin, when you go on your walk, maybe we want to consider like doing some lunges."
Walking fast.
You need a sound effect.
Yeah.
Wah, wah, wah.
Wait, here it is. There it is.
Okay.
So I might end up having to work out more just so that I can keep the temple of the Holy Spirit in good condition.
She said I did not word it like that.
I'm pretty sure that's
Okay,
how
well,
it's,
real quick here. We got to move on. So before we move on, Sav, what challenge are you going to take on?
Oh,
Yeah, we're peer pressuring you. You have to take on a 3-week challenge.
a
So
3-week?
yeah, it takes 21 days to make a habit.
It's already been 21 days. I feel like
No.
I have a habit
You're
by
starting
now.
down. So this is Monday will be day 1.
Wow.
3 weeks, and you have to have a consequence if you fail.
Okay, as long as it's not mayonnaise.
Yeah.
Okay, that's all right.
Don't do that.
I
one.
don't want to do that one. I will make it. I get up at 8, and by at least 10, I have to spend time with God. So I'm getting up early, but then I need to like wake up.
Give God your best.
do you feel
Exactly.
like
That's kind of what I've been doing. I've been
Yeah.
setting my alarm at 8, letting the dogs out, kind of waking up, getting prepared for the day, and then around like 9:30 or 10, starting my day off before I go to work in the Word. So that's kind of been a challenge that I've already been implementing because quarantine.
Yeah.
You know?
Mhm.
well
Good.
and then you what happens if you fail? What's the
If I fail, I don't know. I feel like you guys can come up with that. I'm pretty risky.
At Impact, when she preaches next time, she will have to wear.
does it have to get approved by Brad first?
This probably will need to get approved by Brad. I will have to wear what? Like a mermaid costume or something?
That's a great
Great
idea.
idea.
I
Great
would pick
idea.
that over the mayonnaise.
She's gonna be
Yeah,
like
I'll take
sitting
that
on
over
the.
the mayonnaise.
She's gonna be sitting on the stage with her fins flapping.
All right.
But,
What's a good? We'll come. Hey, you guys in the audience, give us your suggestions for what the consequence should be for Sav, and we'll go from there.
And she's got a whole 2-hour window to spend time
Yeah,
with
yeah.
God. I mean,
But I'm getting up at 8, and normally I would sleep in a little
That's
bit longer.
impressive.
I see.
All right. Do you want to give Mo a call and ask her how things?
Yeah,
went?
let's call Mo. Mo,
We're gonna call our dear Mo. She is
Our
on
dear
bed
Mo.
rest
See,
right
Deidre's
now.
got my back.
She broke her foot, and so she cannot get out of bed for like a week, and so that's why she's not here with us right now.
How'd she break her foot?
do you guys hear that?
She slammed it in a door.
Oh.
Can you guys hear the?
You just slammed
Yeah,
the door.
the
Yes,
phone
we
call.
hear it.
Yep.
It's calling.
Good. I just want to make sure.
All right,
I
Mo,
just
you
get
better pick up.
self-conscious here.
Hello.
Is this Mariah Weaver?
No, this is this is Patrick.
Oh, it's so good to hear your voice.
What's
We
up,
miss you, Mo.
Hey, how's it going? How's the show?
We're not calling to say hi. We're calling to get down to business. How
we
are
just
you
need to
doing
know,
on your
did
challenges this
did
past
you
week?
succeed in your
Okay.
challenge or fail?
Let's get down to the brass.
Go.
Are
We
we
want-
talking about my challenges this
Yeah,
week?
your challenge. How'd it go?
Okay. But it went okay. God time, we already know was good. That's challenging, thankfully. The work
She's cutting out.
Yeah, I think
was
so.
my injury.
Well, that was awesome, Mo. We're going to go on to the next segment here. Thanks for joining the show. All right, seniors, we got something special
Love you,
for you
Mo.
here.
Oh, it's so funny.
Wait, hold on a minute.
Seniors, we're posting right now a number for you to call. You can call and ask Anna, Colin, Sav, myself, anything you want to ask about next steps after high school because it's ending here soon. And so we're going to give you guys a few minutes to give us a call. If no one calls, well, guess we won't give anything away. But
well, no, we're still giving stuff away. They get to be they commented their schools.
So they go in a drawing.
So Anna,
Carol.
But
Anna,
this is-
you're in your freshman year of college. What was the biggest adjustment for you after high school?
To be completely honest with you, it was probably living with another person. Yeah, because I have always had my own room. So, yeah.
Did it go well?
It did go well, yeah. But that just yeah. That's all I'll say.
All right.
I feel like it is hard to get adjusted to living with somebody else because it's like you went from.
Yeah, how's that going, Sam?
I know. I recently just got married, so it's been an adjustment. It's been good, but like you go from just having your own room,
it's not a bad thing at all. It's just an adjustment.
And then you're trying to get used to their schedule and be like considerate of them. And it just takes time, I feel like.
Could you imagine if you had to be quarantined with that person, for like the last month?
That would be really tricky. Oh.
Yeah. I mean, just imagine what these two are going through right now.
Like,
oh no, things are perfect at home.
It's like 5 years of marriage in 1 year now for them.
Love you, Ethan.
But they're saying that by December there's going to be a baby boom.
Yep, not from us.
Not in the Dice household. Yep.
Corn Pops is starting to share my secrets.
Oh goodness. Hey, well, we haven't gotten any calls yet.
I'll post again. See
no,
if,
no more. Hey, if you're out of the country, don't call me, Javier. That's directly for you, my guy. My buddy Javier is watching. He's from Honduras.
We really do want to make seniors feel welcome. So if you want to call, that would be awesome.
Yeah,
these are no babies. I don't know. You've got a lot of free time on your hands in quarantine time, so
it's a little inappropriate for the church scene.
You asked Byron to take his shirt off, and then you say that's
No, I said sweatshirt. Okay.
So in the meantime, seniors, please give us a call. We'd love to hear from you. That's part of being on a live show. We want to do something different that's never been done before. But Colin, we got some sad news right now we have to convey.
Yeah. So Anna will no longer be on the show. Anna, it's been real.
It's been really real. Why was that so long?
Still going.
It's because we're really sad.
Do we need round two of that sound effect?
It's been real.
Oh my goodness.
So what are you gonna miss the most about the show?
Community.
Yeah, you're stuck at home. This is the only time you get out.
Yep.
Oh, my goodness. And you're giving this up?
I know. It has to happen.
Like I
really
said,
appreciate
we love
seeing
having you on
other
the show and all the
people.
contributing.
Yeah.
It's been awesome.
and she'll be back
Thank you.
eventually.
Yeah, we'll drag her
We're
back.
committing her to it.
They're committing you.
We'll call you just like we called Mo and embarrass you every week until you show back up on the show. It's just fine.
Okay.
Yeah, that we do have to
That's fine.
call in and check up in on her.
Yeah, occasionally, it's like
See how my
you ever, like-
challenges are going.
you ever watch like a TV you ever watched that TV show before and then a character leaves and they come back like for an episode in the following season, everyone's like so hype.
They usually clap.
Yeah, like this. Yeah. But anyway, I'm having way too fun with this board over here. So Anna, we appreciated your help a ton. We know we've got
awesome.
Corn Pops itself in the chat because of you.
We better not lose Corn Pops.
Corn Pops, you're not going anywhere. You got to stay.
We need you.
Who is Corn Pops?
My mom and dad and brother
That is amazing.
combined into one account called Corn
It's
Pops.
great.
itself.
So we spent like the first couple weeks trying to figure out who Corn Pops was, and she didn't know who they were.
It was
So anyway,
Yep.
but we actually have like things that we'd love to talk about this week. We have lots of fun, but there's actually, part of why we do what we do is to deliver content. We want to have fun, have this like joyful, playful banter, but we're not doing these self-discipline challenges for no reason. Like we're doing them because there's like a goal behind them. And we really feel like during this season of just everything that's going on, what better opportunity do we have to just allow God to transform us and to kind of prune us and help us grow? And so we've been going through a book series called The Habitudes and kind of going through the leadership principles. And the first book is on self-leadership. And so I'm really excited to talk about what we're going to be talking about tonight. But I'll let Anna, you kind of take this one off.
Yeah. So the habitude for this week was the thermostat and the thermometer.
Yeah.
So, not going to lie, at first, before I read this, I was like, I kind of didn't remember which was which. And so, after reading, so a thermostat, as everyone probably knows, besides me, they set the temperature.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes. Whereas the thermometer is like, it adjusts to what the climate is around them.
Yeah, it reads the temperature.
Reads the temperature, yeah. And so when it comes to leadership, it's all about, or just even as a person, like, what do you do when you enter an environment? Do you set the climate or do you adjust to it? So yeah, that's basically what that's all about. And I can read the little thing.
Yeah, read the little thing. Yeah, do it.
So the introduction, it says, people are either thermometers or thermostats. They will merely reflect the climate around them or they will set it. Leaders develop values and principles to live by and set the tone for others. So yeah, it makes you think like, well, what do I do? But
Yeah.
And he gives a good description here of what a thermostat is. They live by values, they possess a moral compass, and they add value. Their actions serve and help others. So that's how you become a thermostat. And so not only do we want to like talk about this habitude, but we want to actually talk to someone who's doing this in real life.
Yes.
This past year, I had the opportunity to be a part of a first-year men's volleyball program. Coach Kyle Shondell invited me in to be able to help with the team and just kind of be that thermostat with the guys. And what's been fun is watching Kyle coach these guys, because it's not like it's a group of guys that have been around a while. They pretty much were all freshmen except for 2 transfer. And so this is a college university volleyball team, men's volleyball first-year program. And so we're going to give Kyle a call here, and we're going to talk to him about what it looks like to be a thermostat during this quarantine time, these stay-at-home orders. So go ahead, Colin, give him a call.
yes, Kyle.
This is always my favorite part.
This is bound to go better than the Mo call, right?
Yeah.
Hopefully.
He's going to like leave us hanging.
I texted him.
Hey,
There he is.
Kyle.
Hey, what up, Kyle?
How's it going, man?
Hey, how we doing?
It's good. We're doing well. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, man. Great to hear your voice again.
Yeah, man.
It's been a while.
Yeah, it has been a while. It's been since second week of March, I think, that we got to hang out last.
Yeah.
I like it.
Seems like forever.
Yeah, it's like 5 weeks ago. It's crazy. So, hey, we got you here on the show, and we're so glad you're with us. And so we want to talk about life and how things have been during the stay-at-home orders, what it's been like to be a coach, and just leading a group of young men and helping them develop while you're at a distance. So before we start off here, I got just kind of a little bit of a question for you. How did you get into coaching?
It's not as exciting of a story as some. My family's always coached. My grandfather coached volleyball. My father coached volleyball. My uncles coached volleyball. My sister coached volleyball. And I wasn't forced. I could have done a lot of things. My dad actually probably would have wished I did something different, but it just kind of seemed to be what I was built for. So I helped my father's program at Purdue. He coaches the women's team there at Purdue. Did that during college, and then jumped around a couple Division I schools out of college, and then been around the Fort Wayne area for the last 5 or 6 years.
So how many years is that you've been coaching?
How many years total?
Yeah, total, just out of curiosity.
Yeah, coaching period, 15.
15. Wow.
Coaching collegiately, I guess we're at about 10 now.
Yeah. So off the topic here, though, during these stay-at-home orders, what's the craziest thing you've had to do? Yeah, what's the kind of like you just never thought you'd ever have to do?
Well, I'll tell you one thing, and it came from watching the NFL draft. You know, they've got all these. I don't know if you've watched the draft at all, but you know they just wrapped up. But over the weekend, every single one of these GMs and head coaches had their own setup, and you know these guys knew this was going to be on national TV. And you had the guys like Belichick who didn't care and just put their dining room TV with their husky dog in the chair. And then you had the folks like Cliff Kingsbury, who's the coach at Arizona, who had his massive mansion, the outsprawling pool, and everything else, but I like the branding people use. So I was doing my Zoom calls. Well, first off, I never thought I'd have to do team meetings on a computer screen. That's for starters. We're kind of getting, we're calling that a normal now. But I was doing all of my team meetings. I've got a basement that Byron, I think he's been to, but I've got a bar top in my basement. That kind of became my office. So I was just doing that and not worrying too much what the background looked like. It's, it's a nice place, so it was fine. But I've got this wall that has a couple Indiana Tech. It's got like an old school vintage looking Indiana Tech gym floor deal, and it's got a guitar and a couple other things. And so I've moved this bar top hub table all the way over to this corner of my basement. And that's where I do all my recruiting calls, my team meetings, because it looks better. I never thought I would completely rearrange my basement for a Zoom or FaceTime call. But here I am.
There you go.
2020, right at you. So,
We've all had to do different things during this time.
Yeah.
By the way, in the group me, I noticed that this is a group me chat with the guys. There's this game called Game Pigeon. Can you describe what that is?
So Game Pigeon, and I'm hoping most people watching the show are well aware, but are listening to it. But the app I know it's on iOS, so I know it's on Apple iPhones, and I'm assuming it's probably a Droid function as well. Along with the text message, it's got about 12 or 15 different little mini games. My favorite is the mini golf, the putt-putt. It's also got darts and billiards and all kinds of stuff. So you would play back and forth with a friend. And so if we were playing darts or basketball, I would, go my turn and I'd hit send, and then Byron, it would show up on your phone, and you'd go. The back and forth would go, so it kind of keeps us connected. So we use that. The first week or two, I used that just to. I was texting our guys just kind of out of the blue, just trying to stay connected, and I could kind of tell, like, it's not that they didn't want to respond, that they didn't want to hear from me. But, having text conversations isn't something people do now, apparently. I remember a time where phone calls were a thing. Here we are doing it all over again. But I realized that Game Pigeon really got them interested. And I would just start Game Pigeon requesting all of my players. And then I had then I had one of our assistants, Will, had him start doing it. Then the players started requesting each other, and a few of them were already, gaming against each other in Fortnite or Call of Duty or whatever else. They're playing Madden with each other, so that's part of it. But it's just kind of a quick little 5-10 minute deal where you're staying connected. And then we created a Game Pigeon tournament where the guys got kind of excited about that. They got to play each other and see who's better at.
So on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being best, 1 being least, where are you?
On Game Pigeon games, I don't, and I'm not ashamed of this, I don't spend a lot of time playing games on my phone.
Oh, okay. All right.
I haven't really focused on a game on my phone since it was called Brick Attack, and it was on those little phones that didn't have, like, it wasn't a smartphone, it was like black and white, and the little black brick was going back and forth, and you could break it apart or you could settle. It's kind of like Tetris and Galaga combined, but I would say a 5 or a 6.
Okay.
I beat some of the guys pretty consistently. The fellow we call Sunshine, Dante Syracuse, a big 6'7" fella from San Diego, California, is the greatest Game Pigeon player America has ever seen.
Somebody needs to sign that guy.
There's no way that anybody else in this country is better at Game Pigeon games than Sunshine Syracuse. It's impossible. That guy, I thought I had a great round in basketball. I put up 24 points. That guy put up 6.
Wow.
In 60 seconds. He's that good. I wish he was just as good at everything else. He's pretty good. If he was as prolific at volleyball as he is at Game Pigeon, he might not be in Indiana Tech, but if he was, he'd be an All-American.
That's amazing. Hey, got a curiosity. This is the first year for Indiana Tech's men's volleyball program, and this is the first year for you to coach men's volleyball? Am I correct on that?
In a fully official capacity,
okay.
Yeah. I've done plenty of camps and clinics, and then I technically coached the men's club team at Purdue for 2 years. But for a varsity program, yes, you're correct.
So what's the difference between coaching men's volleyball and women's volleyball?
I don't think this show's long enough for that, but I mean, the motivation factors are different. There's different tactics and just mentalities you have to enter to motivate women and girls, and then there's different mentalities and motivating factors you have to utilize to motivate men. And if it's not as simple as one gender does this and one gender does that, it's just you kind of have to be more cautious of some things. Now, I had a friend of mine when I took the job try to tell me, that men, your biggest issue with women is trying to build their confidence, because women consistently don't have a lot of self-confidence or self-worth, whereas men, your biggest issue can be beating the confidence back down. And I think there's some truth to that, but I think that especially now, and maybe 45 years ago, that was dead on. But I think now, we're at a point where you've got some more sensitive men and maybe even some more, aggressively competitive women, but that's not exactly a bulletproof statement. But just, how I'm able to kind of, lead and have exchanges and communicate with the guys compared to, I kind of have to dance on eggshells a little bit when I'm coaching women, just considering the environment we're in today. And there's always things I'm afraid I'm going to say to a woman, not for legal issues, but just in terms of how they're going to emotionally take it. But then there's also times I dance too much when I was coaching women, and the girl would just say, "Just tell me, stop dancing around." So you just kind of have to get to know the person, I guess, get to know the athlete. But there's definitely differences. The game's pretty similar. It's just how you lead the individual that changes.
So during this stay-at-home orders, is there anything that has prepared you for this situation?
I mean, no. For the shortest answer is no. And I keep telling people there's no user's manual for a quarantine team meeting or a quarantine recruit call or anything. So we're just kind of making this stuff up as we go. I mean, I'm a little bit more prepared because I'm 31. I talked to my father, and he's more technologically adept than some other people. And I've talked to some other coaches that aren't quite as tech savvy, can't jump on a Zoom call real quick, can't, create, we did that virtual signing where, we had 4 of our guys that hadn't had a chance to sign a letter of intent yet, and all their high schools and clubs canceled their signings because of COVID. And so I was able to, figure out how to put that online and stream it live with the Zoom call and everything else. And so the only thing I can think that's prepared me somewhat is just the fact that I've grown up around technology. And that I've grown up closer to a generation where, you don't have to be with somebody to communicate with somebody. I think that the people I'm coaching should be greatly prepared for this. They spent most of their life social distancing and communicating via FaceTime and everything else. So, other than that, I can't think of many things that prepared me for this besides just, I got nothing actually.
So how are you? Go ahead. I was going to ask you, how are you motivating a group of guys right now being from a distance?
Inconsistently. It's, I think that there's a group of them that don't need the motivation. And that's great. The people that are more intrinsically motivated, where they don't need anybody on their ear, they don't need anybody watching after them, that nothing's changed for them. And there's some people that are more extrinsically motivated. They need somebody talking to them. They need somebody watching over their shoulder. They need somebody to check in on them once in a while. That they're struggling a little bit because it's a different environment, and maybe they had a healthier academic environment at school than they do at home. And we're just trying to navigate, how do we get them back in the right mindset? How do we get them to a point where they're understanding what's so important, that they're not jumping to summer break because it's online school. And, there's really, we stay connected. We communicate multiple times a week. As you know, Byron, we've got our weekly Zoom call as a team. And I started to try to spice those up a little bit. They're starting to get kind of bland, but, we go through important announcements, which every week the school is going to put out something that they need to know. Athletic department, something they need to know. We just added our freshmen to the Zoom call, so that was kind of important. But we just started putting, I don't know what we want to call it, some celebrity Zoom bombs or whatever. But I had my father come on last week He kind of fired the guys up a little bit, and it was nice to hear from somebody else, different voice. And then Lloyd Ball, former IPFW setter, Team USA gold medal winner, is going to be on this week's call.
That's awesome.
And we've got a couple other lined up. So just kind of keeping them interested there. We've done something every week in the Zoom call. After the first two, we started doing this because the first two just kind of seemed bland and kind of forced. We've started bringing these pieces of encouragement. So we'll end the call with personalized encouragement from the first time it was one of our guys to three different guys. And then we go around the entire group and they would encourage three other guys. And we added the freshmen and had a few more people. It just went down to one. But so if it was the call we're in right now, I would sit here and first think of some way that you would need encouraged, Byron, and I would tell it to you. And I try to uplift you and find a way that, motivate you a little bit. And if it were a situation where, and then once you did that, then you'd, thank me and you move on and you'd probably encourage Colin in some way. He needs personally motivated. So besides just saying, go get it, guys. It's like, hey, I know you've been struggling in that English class, man. We just talked about it, but just crank it out when you got 2 weeks, just that kind of stuff. And you sense more of a connection between those guys than what you had before, because it's so easy to sit back when you're 1,000 miles away in some instances and just talk on the phone or talk on Zoom and just kind of go through the motions. Just kind of put yourself on cruise and wait till the meeting's over. But we start to kind of incorporate some personal attachment and connection, and that's kind of helped a little bit. But I mean, I'd love to say that it's been a perfect process, but we still, that last message I sent out before this, after you sent out the promo for this show, was that we've only gotten, we send out weekly reports that they can fill out to let us know how they're staying on top of their studies, and we'd only gotten about half of them. And it's I don't know if it's because they're overwhelmed with work, if it's because they know they're fine and they're doing just fine, that they do it, or because they don't care and they're not motivated. So we've used those to kind of be able to do some one-on-one stuff and FaceTime guys and get guys set up with tutors. And I mean, we're doing okay. I wouldn't say it's an A+ process for us, but it's better than it was, 5 weeks ago.
Yeah, in a lot of ways, you kind of answered what my last question was going to be. It was basically through social distancing, how can college students be a thermostat and lead their peers? And I loved what you said there with how you had them go around and encourage one another. I didn't know if you have anything else you want to add to that.
I mean, here's my hope, I guess. And I don't know if this will happen or not. But I was talking to my wife the other day, and my hope is this, that, I mentioned earlier that we live in a culture that almost social distances themselves by nature, where people would rather text you than talk to you in person. They'd rather, play in Fortnite than play in wiffle ball. And I don't want to be the old man on the porch, but I'm hoping that people leave this quarantine whenever we're able to get out of this thing so craving interaction, so craving personal connection, that we actually see some more of that. And so craving, not the fake, because by now, people can gain some appreciation and some self-love from Twitter and Instagram and everything else, but that's not real. And you and I know that, but I think that, people try to stymie that and try to blend that to be where it's a real feeling of emotion and connection when it's not real. So hopefully they're so craving real connection and real appreciation from other people that they go out and they seek that. And they go out and not they seek it, but that they strive for real connection. And they look to be real parts of other people's lives, not just, a quick text here or Snapchat there and it's just something silly. That's my hope. I don't know if there's a real shot for that to happen, but I'm hoping that happens. I also hope that the people that can't be in a gym right now working out and can't be in a gym right now playing volleyball are incredibly motivated the second they're allowed to be in there. And just like everything else, when you're allowed to go somewhere you haven't been in a while, you should be, approaching that day with enthusiasm and then to mankind. That's kind of my hope for everybody, especially our team.
Definitely. And I think that's a hope that we all have here in this room, that people will be excited when we get back together. And so, Kyle, we thank you so much for being on the show. Appreciate your time.
For sure.
And man, looking forward to a great season.
Yeah, you were like our celebrity Zoom bomb. So
you guys have to step up your game then.
Yeah.
really enjoy being a part of it, guys.
Well, have a great rest of the night, Kyle. Bye-bye.
All right, thanks, Tom. Take care. Bye-bye.
Yeah, I think that idea of just us, being willing to encourage and us being willing to step up. I mean, I wonder what it would be like, if for one of the guys on his team, when this thing does get lifted, to be the one that says, okay, guys, we're going to go back to the gym. Because I think I've never played a college sport before, so I don't know what the environment is like. So maybe you can speak to this a little bit, Anna, but like when things go back to normal for you, like how do you feel like that's going to work for you, just stepping into that leadership position?
Like exactly what he said. It's going to fuel you. Like I even right now have it, and I probably won't even get to go into the gym until August, probably. Like I'm eager to go and dive and do stuff I didn't really like to do before. Like it's a whole nother motivation that you just want to get something back that you just didn't realize you appreciated it so much. So
how do you be like a thermostat for your team right now, while you can't be at the gym?
I mean, it's really easy right now to be negative, but like Coach Shondell said, just positive encouragement. So I personally, I try to reach out to my teammates and send them an encouraging text message or call them, or it's like the connections that you really have to focus on in order to stay positive in this time, I guess. And it's hard, but yeah.
Do you feel like, I know this, I'm kind of singling you out here, but hopefully this is good for everybody. But like, because he was talking about the guys working out and hoping they're working out. And like, we are doing those self-discipline challenges right now, like to be, you working out. Has that kind of inspired some of your teammates to work out as well? Like, are you hitting them up saying, hey, I'm up, I'm doing my workout. Hey guys, I got up at 9 o'clock this morning. I did a little Devo and now I'm exercising. And I had to eat mayo last time I didn't work out. So you guys get on this.
I haven't necessarily had to tell them that, but because it's like when you are in season, you dread that 6 a.m. wake up call that you have to go work out. And now you're like, man, I wish I could go to the gym. I have to do my ab workout in my room. I don't know.
Well, hey, maybe you could start getting up at 6 a.m. And then kind of simulate the feel a little bit.
I'm taking advantage of the 9. 9 is good.
You just flip the 9 upside down, it's a 6.
That's good.
Brian, you look like you're about to say something.
Oh, I was just going to ask Sav. She played basketball at Bethel, and you're working with our high school students. And it's had to been a challenge for you. You probably never thought you'd be doing youth ministry this way.
No, never in a million years. It's just been so interesting, I guess, during the season. I've been saying this a lot to people, but it's like we want what we don't have. Like it was a few months ago, I was like, I just so wish I had 3 weeks where I could just stay at home and do nothing. Wow. And then I'm here and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is terrible. Wow. I need to go out. I need to see people. I need to do something. Yeah. And it's like, we want what we don't have. And I feel like during this time, the Lord's been obviously just showing me like, be content with what you do have. There's so much to be thankful for. And I've learned so much through this time, even just to be creative, like with youth ministry. I've learned more about tech and video than I think I've ever wanted to know in my entire life. It's all been new, but if this wouldn't have happened, I wouldn't have really pushed myself to even learn any about that. Right. So I think it's just been a learning process. And I think just a humbling time for the Lord to just be like, Savannah, just be content and grateful for what you do have, and rest. I don't know about you guys, but I've just been able to just rest more. And obviously, as you guys have talked about your challenges, but just even more time with Jesus. Yeah. And it's been so refreshing and so encouraging just for my spirit. And as much as I do want to see people, I just feel like, and I think it took about a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks, but I just have this like, okay, I'm content. I'm content and I'm grateful. Because I know like 3 months from now when life picks up again, or however many months it is, I'm going to be like, oh, I wish I had that back. Right. We got to be thankful for what we do have
in the moment. Well, Sav, like what you're saying about this idea of like you're learning, you're growing, you're trying to adapt, and you're thankful for everything that's going on right now. That's not normal. Most people don't have that attitude. Would you guys say that that's like, maybe that's just my opinion, but it just seems like a lot of people are really just grieving what they don't have,
Yeah.
but instead you've taken it and you've said, let's be thankful for what we do have. And look at me, I'm becoming a tech guru, you know? And I feel the same way. I'm like,
Yep.
look at me. I've got like all this
Everything
stuff,
you're
you know, I can
learning.
hit this button and it goes, you know, I feel like I'm achieving a lot with my life right now.
Well, I think that's part of it. What you're saying there, I think we've focused so much on the negative and going, when's this going to end? When this is going to end? And we got to be praying about it. Not that we shouldn't be praying. We should be praying, but we have an opportunity in the midst of our current circumstances to be realistic
Right.
and bring joy to people's life.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
that's why we're doing this. We're wanting to bring joy to people's life, that they can escape for an hour, laugh, and grow in a relationship with Christ. We're going through this just like everyone else. We're struggling, but like it's looking at the positive in the midst of what's happening and knowing that God is in control. He's going to take care of us, and we can be content and we can make the most of it.
Well, so, and this is, I'm not going to get into all the details, but I had this really great conversation with God this afternoon, and he kind of called me out. He kind of was like revealing stuff in my heart, and it was a very tough conversation to have with God. Like not a conversation you really desire. I'm like, oh God, I'm going to have this alone time with you. And then God is like, ugh. And I'm like, oh, but I in that moment, I kind of was faced with this, like, okay, Colin, you either, run from your problems, you just wallow in self-pity, or you own up to it and you move forward and you allow God to continue to transform you despite it being uncomfortable. And so like, I think during the middle of this, like in the midst of everything that's been going on, the thing that I've learned the most is to step up and really take charge of the situation and say, you know what, I'm not going to let my situation get the better of me. I'm going to move forward. And I hope that's, rubbing off on my small group. I hope that's rubbing off on the people that I'm around, because I mean, regardless of whether I, would like to admit it or not, I'm in tons of Zoom calls. I'm interacting with people all the time, and I want to not just, vibe off of what everybody else has got going, like the thermometer. Like I don't want to walk into a room and when everybody else is just kind of negative, like adapt to that myself. Like I really want to be one of the people that's setting the temperature. And we were talking a little bit about this beforehand, but like I used to work at Discount Tire, and that can be a high stress environment sometimes where you got tons of cars coming in, customers getting upset because, a thing didn't go exactly as they were hoping to. And in that environment, when it's a team environment, when somebody gets stressed out, it causes everybody else to be stressed out. But then when somebody's like starts to get stressed out and they're like, hey guys, we got this, we're doing a great job, completely flips how everybody's feeling. And it's like, that doesn't just happen there. It happens everywhere. It was just, I noticed it there more because we were, working together in a team. And so like, I wonder like what that would look like for us as leaders and for you watching when everybody else is getting stressed out and it's turning negatively, to really step up and say, guys, we got this. Like Sav was saying, Sav, you're such an encouragement. Like what a wise woman we have on the show here tonight.
Yes,
Too nice, Colin. You got a button for that or something?
Yeah.
That is my favorite one.
But that's okay. That's it. I'm going to be done preaching now. Okay, I'm off.
All right.
Somebody fill in here.
So
Okay.
this is the first time I think we've had like a little bit of dead time. Where's the crickets?
Oh, yes. we got to go through all the sound effects. We have 8. I think we've done them all so far. But anyway, yeah, I don't know. I guess I can ramble until somebody else wants to say something. But just realistically, just like, what do you feel like what do you feel like you being a thermostat right now, you could be doing the most to impact other people?
Yeah.
Like I know we've
Like,
kind of
what does
talked
that
big
look like?
picture, but like realistically, what does this look like when I leave tonight? Like for the audience as well. And if you're an audience member right now, why not participate and let us know what that would look like for you personally? Because we want to interact with you. This is a live show, so let's have it be live. Let's interact with the chat here. But Byron, like, what would that look like for you realistically right now to be a thermostat in the midst of everything?
I think the biggest challenge for me is to continue to actually be a thermostat with my family.
Yeah.
To continue to be positive and not get caught up in what's going on in the news and everything else that's going around me, but also not getting so caught up in ministry that I engage with my family. I don't do the best job of always engaging because I'm always thinking about what the next thing is that ministry holds. I was telling Colin earlier that this is a career, not a job. A job is what you do to provide and to pay for your finances. A career is something you choose to do, and it just so happens to pay like a job would.
Yeah.
And so, but the problem with that is, especially now, we're home, and yeah, that is home and work are the same now. They're one and the same. You don't just stay home and you don't just get to play with your kids all day. You still have to get work done, but then you get there's just no separation. So really making my family a priority and continue to try and be a joy to my family, which I know I need to do a better job, and to be a joy to everyone I in contact with, to try and look at the positive side of things, to say that, hey, yeah, there's hope, but we can also make the best of our current circumstances.
Right. And I don't think we mentioned this yet, but the book talks about that you can be a thermostat without realizing it and having negative effects on everybody else around you. And this is what I think is interesting about the thermostat. And this is why this is one of my favorite illustrations of the Habitudes book, because the past 3 weeks we talked about the iceberg, the starving baker, and the golden Buddha. And all of those are about uncovering your leadership and beginning to look like what it looks like to be a leader. This is the first thing you displaying leadership. The first thing that's really like, are you going to step up to the plate? Because you can have people in leadership positions that are thermostats, but they're affecting everybody in the most wrong way possible. And so I guess maybe I should have clarified that when I asked the question is how do we be positive thermostats? Because regardless of whether you know it or not, you guys are going to be a thermostat for somebody, whether it's at your house or, at your workplace or whatever. So I just wanted to clarify the question.
And I think like what Byron said too, just being with my family every day, like those are some of the people who I'm most comfortable with. And it's like, I really can have a negative effect if I choose to let my attitude get the best of me or the circumstances. So like you said, Sav, like being content right now, but also being joyful and trying to see the best in things. It's hard, but it's what you have to do to be a thermostat. So definitely work in progress.
And I think with that, just like asking, I know for me, just like asking like, Jesus, what do you have for me in today?
Yeah.
Like, my prayer during this quarantine has just been like, okay, if my only interaction with people today is just through like social media and then like my husband and my 2 dogs, like, okay, how can I love like my husband and my 2 dogs better today than I did yesterday? How can I love the people that I'm interacting with in ministry, like even through social media?
I would love to know how you could love a dog more.
Yeah.
Oh,
curious
trust
about
me,
that,
I
your
need
2
tons of
dogs.
patience with my dogs, but that's another story. But just, I mean, going back to the whole idea of like, in this, with the people that we are interacting with, even though it's limited and looks different, how can we, be that thermostat and love them better than we did today, the day that we're in, than yesterday?
You brought up a great point. This is what gets me so excited, because I don't know if he talks about this at all in the book. So if I'm just stealing his idea, please let me know. But a thermostat is always set. And in our house, it's set by Deidre, because she's the one that changes the temperature for the house. She's like, hey, and if I'm a thermostat and I want to be a thermostat, who's setting my thermostat? And I want that to be the Holy Spirit. And so when you talk about, spending time alone with the Lord, especially all of us trying to do that in the morning, like I am not a very nice person, like just in general, like I try, but realistically, like, I know I'm not. And without Jesus doing that work inside of me, it's going to be so hard. And so like, I think more than most of these principles, like we got to let the Holy Spirit be the one to decide what temperature we're going to leave. Not Anna waking up. I just singled you out, but not Anna waking up in the morning and being like, yeah, I'm going to be really nice to my family today.
Yeah.
Like really letting the Holy Spirit do that transforming work in your life. Yeah. And so did he say that in the book? Was that his idea? Like I don't remember.
So like you just read it a month ago and decided to come on the show and wing it?
I know this principle so much. This is my favorite one. Okay. Because like I would always tell people at work, I would always tell people at discount time, I'm like, be a thermostat, not a thermometer, So I this is my favorite principle. I just love it so much, but I just can't remember if that's in that.
It's like
section.
be a fountain, not a drain.
Be a fountain, not that's right.
It's true.
I'm sorry, Byron. I hope I didn't disappoint you.
No, you're good. And it's something that I think right now is something we are working on for when we come out of the stay-at-home orders. And it's going to be a gradual process because our influence is through social media right now. That's how we can kind of set the temperature with what we post. And that's probably my biggest pet peeve is what people post right now during this time. You can either bring joy to people's lives or you can just fuel the fire for why people are angry. And I think we have a responsibility as Christ followers to bring joy to people's life and not join in the grumbling and getting angry about our current circumstances and having a negative opinion about whatever's going on.
Right.
We don't have control over that, and that's okay. God's in control.
So what do we do then? And I don't want to like speak like this is going to happen, but what do we do if this lasts longer than we think it might? You know, like what if this is a longer, or after this thing all resolves and we can go meet with each other, but society just doesn't look the same as it used to because of all the changes? Like, how do we live in that in a way? Because, you know, memory verse, John 13:34-35, like we have to love each other. Like that's God's command. And if we're grumbling all the time, like it's going to be so hard to love each other so authentically. And so like, what is that? Like, I don't know, guys. I got the questions, not the answers.
It's going to start small when this is over. It's going to be baby steps. It's going to be, okay, now you can leave your home and hang out at a friend's house, but no groups over the size of 10.
Right.
You know, and then it's going to get bigger and bigger. So I think it's going to be one of those things where we can gradually step it up. It's not a, hey, we're going to go back instantly to normal life and we're going to be like, I'm a thermostat. You know, it's okay.
That's what I want.
But I could be around. I can go, hey, I'm going to call up 5 or 6 people and say, hey, let's hang out. Let's talk about life. Let's encourage one another. Let's have fun together again. And that's starting now, even like just having a fun time where you get Zoom going, or
like Quiplash on Zoom,
or
That's amazing.
Honestly,
we did it.
Sav, I love what you're doing with the Impact social media. It's not constantly reminding everybody about the situation you're in. You're getting people to have fun and post videos and clips that, you know, how can you prank your parents? Or, you
Hilarious,
know,
by the
a
way.
TikTok. Yeah, how can you get your parents to do a TikTok video? You know, that's bringing laughter and joy, even though it's not some deep spiritual thing. I think as Christians, we should bring the most joy to people around us.
Yeah.
And I think that's one way that we can be a thermostat in our current circumstances when we can't be physically present around one another.
I need like a sound effect that goes preach. That's what we need. Amen.
Yeah.
No, I just think. Oh, go ahead.
Okay, this is really quick. So I'm like, you're like talking like, what do we do? How do we do this? So I have a friend who every single morning sends me like a Bible verse. And it's been so encouraging. She wakes up and that's the first thing she does is like send out this encouraging message to all of her friends. And it's like, okay, like that's being a thermostat in my opinion. Yeah.
I forgot what I was gonna say now. I was gonna be honest. You were finishing up, and I was like, "Oh no!"
It comes in, and what did there you go? Say it. Oh, that's how I am.
I remember now. I was just talking, and we talked about this at We Can Hope a little bit of just like we have an opportunity to reflect Christ, and that's like being a thermostat. Like when we choose to have joy despite the circumstances, we're setting the temperature wherever we go.
Right.
And I think it's so cool that we as Christians have the opportunity during this time of crisis where everyone's in fear and freaking out to be a light in the darkness. Like there's no better time to shine for Jesus than right now. And I think a lot of people have questions and fears, and I just think be a thermostat and
turn
set
it up
the
high.
exactly.
Yeah.
You don't have to know. You don't have to know all the answers to have a smile on your face. That's all I got to say.
Exactly.
You know? So hey, you know what? That's probably going to conclude the episode. Do we have anything else we need to do? Is that it?
No, that's it.
Okay, so now we're going to transition to the love thought of the week, and I think this is it. I think just daily remind yourself to have a smile on your face for the people around you, and not that you have to act like everything is easy or normal or not hard, but a smile goes a long way. You know, when you're at the grocery store, I saw somebody smiling and I could see their cheeks peeking up behind the mask, you know.
Their eyes.
But let that be the love thought of the week as you're walking and you see somebody. Maybe it's not even like maybe it's a wave, but just smile. I mean, I think a smile can go a long way, and especially setting the temperature of a room. So we thank you all so much for tuning in tonight. Seniors, you guys especially. I even wore my Impact shirt for y'all tonight, specifically because I appreciate and love y'all so much. And Sav, thank you so much for being on the show. And Anna, it's been real, friend. It's been real. You'll be back.
Yeah.
You'll be back. Do I need to play this crying sound effect again? Is that
goodbye? It's
I like
see you
the
later.
one.
It's been a long day.
That's good.
I'm sorry. I shouldn't sing on live. But anyway, So like always, we have small groups meeting immediately after this. So for Mo Weaver's group and my group, we will be meeting. If you're sitting here and you're like, man, I love this, I want to get plugged in more, please email Byron at that email, and we will get you plugged in with a small group as soon as we can. We'd love to even get you plugged in tonight. We could do it pretty quickly, getting you plugged in. So this is a live show, but right now you kind of only interact with us in the comments. We want to be able to interact with you kind of face to face. So please let us know. And then you seniors who watch tonight, this is what we want to get you plugged into, these small groups after you transition out of Impact. So it's been great to have you here. So we need like a sign off. Is there like a good thing we can do? Like sign off, like peace, everybody. It's been real. Is there something we can do? I feel like that's a step up. We need to figure out. That should be our next task.
Like a
All right.
6 feet apart, like team.
All right, air 5. Everybody on 3. 1, 2, 3, boom.
And we're off.
And we're not yet. There. It's a 2-step process.